So this video is going to show how a human who's a teacher could go about setting all ungraded assignments or all unsubmitted assignments, not say ungraded, let's say all unsubmitted assignments to a certain grade within Canvas, and then sync that to your student information system, which for me is Skyward. So the thing I'm not showing you that's off the screen right now are student names. Let's say that each one of these rows is a student, okay? So kind of where my mouse is hovering here, there's actually a student name, but it's off screen because I've hidden it. Okay, so let's say that a bunch of these students have submitted this assignment. Okay, just like that. Students turned in assignments, I've graded some things. Here's how it's reflecting in Canvas. These lines right here indicate students who have not submitted the assignment, and now we're past the due date, and it's time to report some level of progress on this in terms of what has or has not been done. And maybe typical approach would be to mark things as 0 and unscored for some teachers. But let's say maybe you needed to, were being directed to have a different score be your minimum score. Here's how you go about doing that within the Canvas Gradebook. So what I would do is click these 3 dots here, and then I'm going to hit Set Default Grade. Now, maybe 50% is the new grade that I'm going to be using as opposed to giving a 0 or something like that for an assignment that hasn't been turned in. So I'm going to say 50 out of 100, and I'm going to hit Set Default Grade. Really make sure you don't check this box that says Overwrite Already Entered Scores, otherwise you'll erase everything and the world will light on fire. So hit Set Default Grade. And what I will have done now is I've set all the students who have not submitted the assignment, who had the little line there, now have a 50. And when I go to Actions and then Sync to SIS, that will pull that assignment into, for me, Skyward, which is my student information system, and those scores will be reflected there. And the cool part about this is that say that this student in this row right here, that this student who got a 50, which is hadn't submitted it, or it was missing, or they got worse than 50 or whatever, let's say that they turn it in and I grade it. When I grade it, their new score will be automatically updated in this grade right here. Complications with this might be that if this student had already had a 37, now setting that default score isn't going to work because they already had a grade being entered. So maybe me as a teacher, if I know that the lowest I can ever give a student is going to be a 50, as I'm going through in Canvas and grading, if I come across a student's assignment that's let's say going to be a 37, maybe I don't enter that grade in SpeedGrader when I'm grading that assignment. Maybe instead I give that student some feedback, maybe use the comments in SpeedGrader or something like that, but don't actually enter a grade that's going to be below 50. And essentially it's going to make it look like the assignment wasn't submitted at that point. But then when I go in here into the default, because they'll still have a line here because I didn't really enter a grade for them, now I can change it to 50, but I could still communicate with the student in a different way about the score they got and what they need to do to bring that up, or to improve or show further evidence of learning. So that's kind of one workaround, that if you don't have an option within your student information system, which is for me, Skyward, to set missing assignments as anything other than a 0, and if I need to set them as something other than 0, I can use Canvas to do that and then just sync my Canvas gradebook to Skyward.